rebuilding. A catastrophic failure, a new start. Physically, mentally, our careers, our businesses. Step back, first step, next step. The driver in me just wants to get it done tomorrow. We'll do this, do that, let's move this, where are we at with this? You build some confidence, build some self-esteem, start to feel better about yourself. The Silverback Blueprint Podcast, a show for men over 40. We focus on getting stronger, staying motivated, building discipline, creating a community, and becoming truly happy. Hey there, and welcome to episode 135 of the Silverback Blueprint Podcast. Next?
Yeah, that'll work.
That'll work. I feel like we could bang 1,000 of these out today. That's crazy. And then we'll just do, like I said earlier, the elevator music. 45 minutes of elevator music. And then some people will wait. Like, you know, when you watch some of the, the franchise movies there, the Avengers or whatever, you always wait past the credits and hope there's a little movie clip and stuff like that, right? Yeah. And I always laugh now, the people that get up and go, like, I mean, how do you not know that anymore? Like, of all the movies that have been out by them, like, you just know. In fact, I expect that with any movie now. I sit there and I'm like, oh, there was nothing. Huh. Well, at least I know it was filmed in Panovision or whatever. Anyway, welcome to episode 135 of the Silverback Blueprint Podcast. Investing in ourselves. You know, doing what we do at the gym and at Hostile and helping people with transformations and dealing with the things that they want to make better for themselves. The self-improvement, physical, mental, all those things, emotional. The big thing, one of the big hurdles I find for the individual coming in is to understand that you need to invest in yourself. It's not you should or could I. It truly is you need to invest in yourself. You need to put yourself first in order to make the changes that you need to make overall. In fact, by not focusing on ourselves is where a lot of the derailing has happened in our lives. We put a lot of things before it, our jobs, our careers, our businesses, our families, our spouses, our friends. We put more importance for those things than we do for ourselves. And what happens is there comes a point in time where we just physically and mentally can't do it anymore. And then the people that have been counting on us and the individuals that have been counting on us and the organizations, they start to suffer because all of a sudden you're not able to maintain what you were doing up till that point. And it's kind of crazy because then they'll turn around and look at you and start to give you that weird look to wonder what's wrong with you because you're no longer able to do the things you're able to do. And then for ourselves, we have the frustration inside, the inner turmoil, the self-esteem issues, feeling that we're trapped, but we can't make the change. We can't break free. And it's a very real thing, especially when like I said, when guys and girls are coming to see us over 40 and over 50, it's a very, very real situation. You know, often the comments and conversations go with, I'm not doing what I feel I was meant to do. I feel trapped. I feel like I can't make a change. And then we get into the physical issues and the mental issues that go with it and stuff. And it's so important that we change our thinking on this, that it's because we haven't gone enough with investing in ourselves, taking care of ourselves, self-care. Now, and I don't mean self-care as in going to the spa once a week, right? I mean, that's all nice, and I know people that do that, and that's their level of health and fitness. They go to the spa, they get a massage and stuff, and that'll have some immediate relief, but it's really not going to fix anything. It kind of just scratches the surface, doesn't get to the core or the root of what the issues are, right? So at the end of the day, we become what we invest our time and money into. So if we're sitting there and we're trying to mitigate our feelings and our frustrations, and we're doing that by keeping ourselves busy with distractions like, watching TV, watching sports, going to the bar 2 or 3 times a week, golfing, anything that we do for a reason that's beyond the pure enjoyment of what we're doing, if that makes sense overall. So if you're constantly going out to restaurants and having these big meals and drinking these bottles of wine and stuff like that, right? You can't be surprised that all of a sudden you've gained all this weight and then your health is taking a turn for the worse and your blood pressure's through the roof and your blood sugars are out of control. Because really, we're a manifestation of what we spend our most time doing, thinking, and partaking in. So if we want to make those changes, it's only logical. We have to make changes into how we invest our time, our money, and our effort. So if you want to get healthier, you've got to start spending time getting healthier, right? So that might mean working out 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week. That'll also mean changing how you eat. That'll also mean changing the habits that you currently have. One of the things for me not drinking anymore, coming up on 4 years sober in October, is a lot of my social activities have radically changed because they had to. Because drinking took up a lot of my time, right? So if I had a Friday night off, I'd go hang out somewhere and drink. If I had a tough day, I'd go somewhere and have a few beers after the shift or after the day at the business and stuff, right? I was finding ways to make myself feel better, decompress, handle the stress, right? But they were ways that were not positive. So by turning around and looking at how we're doing that, how we're handling those situations, how we're spending our time, and not just our free time. If you're not happy with your job, then change your job. But if you start changing your attitude and how you approach things, and you start working on some of the inner issues you have, maybe it's not the job. Maybe it's our perception of the job. Or maybe it is the job, and when you start working on some of your internal processes and you start building more confidence and you start solving some of the things that are really bugging you, you might come to the realization that this isn't the job for you. And then you make those necessary changes. But it's all about how we invest and take time and look into ourselves. There's a really cool quote out there that I like that says, "Dreamers invest their time and money into distractions. Doers invest their time and money into their dreams." And I think that's really sharp, right? I think at the end of the day, that really helps illustrate what's going on with how we look at things overall. There's a lot of people that say, someday I want to do this, but they do nothing to work towards it. Right? There's a lot of people that just quietly go about working on their things to achieve the dreams that they have. They have the same 24 hours a day that you and I have. They have the same 7 days a week that you and I have. They just approach it differently, right? They go about their business differently overall. Their attitude about it is different. They get to the point where they realize that it's only going to get done if they work on it themselves. It's not going to get done for them. And then they start, we talked about an episode ago where we stop making excuses, right? Because once we stop making excuses, that's when the things really start to change. And we take the ownership and the responsibility for things. Now, that's really tough because when we start investing in ourselves and we start taking on that personal responsibility, we have to deal with more things. We have to deal with more of our own emotions. We're going to get angry. We're going to get sad. And these are emotions that we tend to try to avoid. That's why we have all these distractions usually. We don't want to feel anything bad ever, right? We don't want to have that difficult conversation, right? Rather than having that conversation with the person that we have an issue with, we'll talk behind their back and talk to other people because we kind of feel like we did something about it, but we really, truly didn't face the issue or the person or the situation, right? It's hard work investing in ourselves. One of these, I was talking to someone the other day and we were talking about, the financial cost of things. And I've yet to see it not happen where when I see someone come in, start getting healthier, start training, start eating better, start following something, start putting their efforts and time and money into something positive, that it hasn't come back to them at least tenfold. Because all of a sudden they have energy. All of a sudden they start feeling better about themselves. All of a sudden their moods get better. And then the world around them notices it. So all of a sudden, things start to happen for them. Things that were already there, but they just weren't ready to see it, or those situations, those opportunities were there, but they weren't being presented because that person didn't seem like they were the right person at the time. So in investing in ourselves, in focusing on ourselves to improve ourselves, that's the hard work, right? If your favorite thing comes on sale and it's $500, I fucking guarantee it, you're going to find $500. Right? Because you want something, it's something you care about, something that means a lot to you. It's going to give you satisfaction. It might be a new pair of shoes, it might be a new set of golf clubs, right? Is that rush of getting it? We don't blink an eye doing that. We don't think for a second about going out to dinner and blowing $250 on booze and on food and stuff because we're having a good time. We're buying the rounds. We fucking do it. But yet, when it comes to investing in ourselves and maybe joining a gym or getting a trainer or getting joining a program, that'll help you get fitter, to get stronger, a seminar, anything, all of a sudden we're like, oh, that seems like a lot of money. It's not the money. I think it's in the back of our minds. We understand that we're about to face things that we don't want to face. We're about to step into some hard work that we kind of just naturally want to avoid. But that's where the magic is. It's investing in ourselves. It's taking $100 a month and investing it in yourself in a positive way, either in a course, a gym, eating better. It all comes back minimum tenfold overall. And if you talk to anyone who's made big changes, who's done the things you want to do, who's made those changes in their life, they'll tell you it was those sacrifices in spending less in certain areas and spending more on the right areas that made all the difference. And when we make that shift, when we make that shift as to what's truly important, right, it also becomes evident quickly what's not important overall. And I think just keep coming back to that quote, how dreamers invest their time and money into distractions and doers invest their time and money into their dreams. And I think if we hold on to that and we think about that a lot, and when we're faced on a situation where we're about to do something and we're wondering, should we be doing it? Think about that quote. Is it allowing me to move towards the life that I want? Becoming the person I want to become? Or is it something that's really just masking and distracting how I really feel about things, how you really feel about things? Is it covering up the pain even for an instant? And I think if we look at things that way, I think we'll start to see things that way more clearly. We'll start to make those changes. But again, guys, it's always hard work, right? But it's worth it. Because if you don't do it for yourself, no one else is going to do it for you. Invest in yourself, guys. And as always, work hard, motherfuckers. Head on over to iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating, a positive review. Head on over to hostilegear.com. Use the code word Silverback. Get 20% off some kick-ass stuff. We got new hoodies and new baseball tees that have dropped and are dropping. A lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe. And catch you guys later.